my name is Jean Rouleau. I am a cardiologist at the Montreal Heart Institute, and I had the opportunity of being involved at the very beginning of CDTRP. At that time, I was the director of the Institute for Circulatory and Respiratory Health of CIHR and was working in collaboration with the other scientific directors, including Marc Ouellet, who was the director of III. And before that, I had been dean of the Faculty of Medicine of the University of Montreal. And I'd had the opportunity of seeing Marie-Josée Hébert in action. And what she was able to do while I was dean was to bring together the transplant groups at McGill and the University of Montreal, which was quite a feat in itself. And it was done with everybody's satisfaction and with a team spirit that has been unusual in collaborations between McGill and the University of Montreal that have for a long time been competing at every level. I had the opportunity of meeting Laurie West during a meeting that was organized by Marc Ouellet to talk about transplant. And I had, when I met Laurie, I was extremely impressed by the individual. And Marie-Josée was her partner, and they were discussing the possibility of developing a national network in cardiac transplant. Et ce que j'ai beaucoup aimé de ces deux individus, c'est les qualités qu'ils amenaient à la table. C'était deux personnes extraordinaires, généreux, rassembleurs, intègres, visionnaires et qui avaient un sens d'équité et d'altruisme qui était rassurant et donnait confiance aux gens avec qui ils travaillaient. Donc, deux personnes exceptionnelles qui avaient une vision qui était quand même super. Une de rassembler les différentes pièces dans le monde de la greffe pour que le tout soit plus que les individus seuls. So their vision was one where they were bringing people together, people that were really had the same interest, but were not necessarily collaborating and sharing their experiences and knowledge. And that would be bringing together patients and the families, important players in transplant. It's true for the donors, particularly during those hard times when their decisions have to be made that are very difficult, but also for the recipients that can go through some very difficult times and are on a roller coaster for much of the period prior to transplant and sometimes after. Organizations that were de bienveillance, we would say in French, organizations of patients or of transplant organizations of raising money for support of transplant, public organizations around that, the blood services, and Transplant Canada. So there were a lot of different players. There was the basic science researchers that weren't always collaborating with the clinicians, and the clinicians not necessarily collaborating with the basic science people, not always bringing together common resources. And of course, there were industrial partners, and the industrial partners had many of the same goals as had the patients, had the organizations supporting transplant, and the organizers of the network. So the idea was to bring them all together and then also bring together funding agencies like Fonds de recherche en santé or Fonds de recherche du Québec Santé, Heart and Stroke, and other foundations that are interested in supporting transplant and people going through those experiences, as well as the families associated to it. So I think that I was very confident with the qualities that these people were bringing to the table, that they would be able to bring all these different people together, develop a common vision, and bring this whole area to the forefront. They actually did. So I've seen them develop over the years. Je dirais que probablement de tous les réseaux que j'ai vus développer au Canada, c'est certainement un des meilleurs, c'est pas le meilleur dans bien des domaines, incluant le patient partenaire, incluant la possibilité d'amener des organisations gouvernementales de bienveillance, de patients, de scientifiques fondamentaux, de scientifiques cliniciens, d'organismes de fonds de recherche ensemble avec un objectif commun de faire avancer la cause des patients et des connaissances dans, dans l'insuffisance cardiaque. Okay. They were able to bring together all these various people, and the CDTRP, the way they work, the way they respect everybody involved, the way they bring people together around common themes is exemplary. And at this time, I'm a co-scientific director of the Canadian Heart Function Alliance, which is the national network funded by CIHR and Heart and Stroke and Heart Failure. And we're partnered with CDTRP, and we've learned a lot from CDTRP. They've been mentoring us in multiple areas, including training and mentoring, which they've done extremely well, but in many other ways as well. So I think the quality of the individuals, the vision, the ability to bring people together has been outstanding and an example for us to try and follow. And I would say that the quality of what they've been able to do should set the groundwork for developing an international network. I think, again, the quality of the individuals and what they've been able to do could work as a foundation for the development of an international network that would be built on the same vision and values that CDTRP has been able to bring to the table, led by two outstanding individuals, Marie-Josée Hébert and Laurie West. On aurait pu garder ça, ça aurait été intéressant avec le code en même temps que je fais mon appel.